the Bada Pow Show, and we're back today. It's the Bada Pow Show.
It's the Bada Pow Show.
Great. And we got Pranav, Jagdish on the line, and we got other people too, and it's gonna be cool. We're gonna talk about climate change and shit and cool. He lives in Munich, but he's Indian and cool. We live in India and we wish we were in Munich. Okay, Brandon, sorry. Bada Pow. What's up? What's happening? Bada Pow, how are you doing? Is he frozen? He's not moving. Is he fucking with me? He looks frozen. This motherfucker. So anyway, today's thing is about climate change, how the climate is changing, and we're gonna talk to Pranav Jagdish, who's gonna meet us, who's gonna who's gonna talk to us all the way from Munich in Scandinavia, somewhere, or in Canada. He's in Canada, and it'll be all right.
Will it be all right?
He's back.
I'm back.
You're back. So
yes,
that was our weekly fuck up on.
Yeah.
There has to be one fuck up. Hopefully, this is the only one.
We start big, and then it like falls down quickly. We've done the big thing now. How's this week been? By the way, today the lead actor of Black Panther passed away. So
from colon cancer. Why is everybody so surprised? He was diagnosed in 2016.
Because he was the Black Panther, and like we expect him to have magic powers of.
I really liked him in Get Up, in the James Brown film. He was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what like people say. You got to be healthy and like ripped and shit, and you won't die.
Yeah.
And I just don't think anybody's right about these things anymore. I think everybody dies.
Is that our excuse to be fat and?
Pretty much.
I think we are sailing.
I think everybody has to die, right? This is what I'm realizing.
Yeah, but some people suffer and die of heart attack and never get to eat something nice and sweet before they die.
And colon cancer.
Oh God.
Like
dark.
Or some other AIDS or some shit.
Yeah.
Or climate change.
The topic of the day. That was an amazing segue. Really topped
We're all
there.
Gonna die from climate change.
So today we are talking about climate change. I think you've already announced that. We also have some interesting stuff happening today. Today we are also joined by Brendan. He is a rapper, and we are joined by rapper extraordinaire. And we are also joined by MC Afeem. MC Afeem will be launching his comedy career online. And as in like he has done stand-up before, but he will be launching his online comedy career today. And we all know that the climate change is imminent, so we are all going to drown, right? Eventually everything will be underwater. So so what we have decided is that we have to get into that market now. We have to capitalize on that entire situation. So we have started making fish-based comedy. So here is the first clip for the day for fish-based comedy. Fish-based comedy.
Wrong
Funny
chord,
fish.
sorry.
Wrong chord, right fish. Fish-based comedy. Do we have fish-based comedy?
എന്തൊക്കെയുണ്ട് വിശേഷം? മത്തായല്ല മത്തി. എടോ മത്തിയായി എന്തൊക്കെയുണ്ട് വിശേഷം? മത്തിയായല്ല മത്തി. എടോ മതിയായി. എൻ്റെ അമ്മോ എനിക്കും മതിയായി.
So that was...
Why is this sketch in Malayalam?
What's wrong with this?
Did you understand what he said?
Because of course, like in spirit, I understand what it said.
Yeah. What did he say?
He was talking about the geopolitical situation of Kerala, and I don't know, they were just communist fishes. I think that when we all drown, there will be a lot of communism under sea. So I thought that will probably be one of the languages that will be relevant in such a world. Anyway, so today let's all give a warm and sexy welcome to Pranav Jagdish. Hey Pranav.
Hey guys.
Are you here?
Hey guys.
What
up?
Hey man.
We can hear him.
What up?
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, we are good.
Very well.
So tell us first of all, to start, tell me, your page is called Climate Collapse Memes for what teens? There's something about extinct
Indian teens.
That's your meme page from where you are doing all the climate change propaganda, and I really love that page. I've been regularly following the page and all the discussions that happen there, and sometimes it gets really heated and sometimes it is hilarious, but the topic is not hilarious, especially usually when we hear about climate change, usually the word that is used is climate change and not climate collapse, and you are one of the few people who I see using the word. So do you want to talk about that?
So climate collapse is basically, I wanted to make the page a bit dark, so that's why it's extinct Indian teens, climate collapse and so on. But climate collapse, the reason I started the page, and that's probably the best way to describe collapse or climate collapse, is that there was a paper written by this guy called Jimmy Bendel, Deep Adaptation. It came out around 2018, okay? This paper basically said that the whole human civilization is going to collapse in the next 20 years or something, okay? That was a big thing, and it somehow caught traction in the scholarly circles in academia and so on, and people started reading it and sharing it. There are problems with the paper, okay? There are some scientific problems with the paper, but it kind of started this debate, which is a debate we were not having. And that debate is what they now call collapsology, right?
Okay.
Before the paper came out, some guys in France wrote this book. Name was Why Everything Will Collapse, and they touch on the environmental aspect, but they also touch on other aspects. Now, since that book came out in 2015 and the paper came out in 2018, in France the book was a bestseller and it kind of caught a lot of traction. Even ministers are talking about collapse. So this word collapse came into our parlance.
So we are not talking just about a change right now. We are not talking about just things getting a little warm and
you're talking about climate change is what's happening in the biosphere, right? Like you're seeing the biosphere changing and so on. But now you're linking up what effect that change in the biosphere is going to have on humanity. And I think this is an area that we have to kind of study or understand if you are to mitigate against it. Imagine your house is on, you have a fire brigade in your house, right? And they come and do an inspection of your house and they say, you could have a fire, so maybe, install a fire alarm. Now, when people like us who are called climate alarmists, when we talk about climate change, it's like we're telling you, hey, you could have a fire. Your society could collapse. So do you install the fire alarm or you just say fuck off? It's about installing that fire alarm, right? And you're basically kind of imagining how easy it is for human society to collapse, and it actually is. Look at Corona right now. You live in a globalized world, and you are just one virus has fucked you up, and you're expecting a shit ton of pandemics with climate change. So it's just imagine getting hit by viruses every 5 years or something.
Actually, that is something I wanted to. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but that is something that we have talked about before, and I really wanted you to touch on how climate change is related to this pandemic that we are going through right now, and how it is related to the pandemics that are being predicted in coming period. Because we also had a locust pandemic this year. This was the year of pandemics, right? And we are now having these. In America, the weather has gone crazy.
I think this virus, because obviously there's a lot of research they're still doing into the origins. I do not think has any linkages with climate change. Although it does have linkages with environmental destruction, which is kind of related to climate change, right? It's one of the causes of climate change. So it's not directly related to climate change, the coronavirus. But in the future, as we destroy more environments, more habitats, viruses have the potential to jump from from animals to humans. And this basically happens when either the immune system of the animal is suppressed, like let's say the animal is caged up in really filthy conditions, right? Like that's what if the virus came from a pangolin or something. Or the human immunity system is compressed because of climate factors. You're not getting enough food because the rice, as per one research, for example, rice will lose its 40% nutrient value if the temperature rises by 1 degree. Imagine how many people in India are going to probably starve to death. So
what does that even mean? Does it even mean that rice will be less nutritious?
Yeah, so it's the vitamin levels are going to decrease. So you basically will have to build what they call fortified rice, right? Like new kind of, and then we know that the seeds will be sold by big seed companies. So then the poor farmers will be in another debt trap, and so on and so on. It goes with capitalism. Wow. But in the future, when it comes to the viruses jumping from animals to humans, and so that's the one element, that you destroy habitats. Like for example, now Modi is going into the dense Indian forest, right? Maybe even today you could find some insects over there which have not been documented, for example. Right. He's going there to do coal mining. And now if you cut down this forest, maybe some animals get stressed out and they pass on the viruses to the people working over there or whatever. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is the permafrost. And because the permafrost is basically like a deep refrigerator. Like you can still find like half decomposed mammoth bodies inside. So what's happening over there is basically because it's cold, the viruses and the bacteria are inactive basically. But these viruses and bacteria have been trapped over there since like 100,000, 200,000 years, man.
And did they not, like last week what happened is they like tried to bring some virus to life and it totally easily came to life. Like they brought some million-year-old virus to life.
Yeah, their hibernation is.
So we don't know if these pathogens, if they come out, do we have immunity to them? Nobody knows, and they can really spread out, and so that's the second element of disease. So this is basically how pandemics will play out in the future. I mean, there will still be a lot of I don't know how much time gaps they will have or something, but they are now a thing that we are talking about, especially with coronavirus. A lot of climate scientists and so on are talking about, because it's in our focus now. So they're talking about pandemics in the future because of climate change.
This one is hard enough. Imagine इस pandemic में हमारा Twitch show शुरू हो गया. Next pandemic में, how far it is going to go?
No, but so coming back, that's the whole thing about collapse, right? It's an alarmist position, but it's kind of an alarmist position not to make you resign to doomerism, everything is doomed, I'm going to pollute, I'm going to buy a monster truck, and I don't know, put my exhaust on some indigenous people's faces. Exactly. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a kind of radical hope coming out of this despair. So the first step obviously is that you are going to cry. Like I read the news and I'm in grief. There's a word in Germany called climate anxiety, Klimaangst. It's now in the dictionary.
So people are getting actual mental illnesses or like mental problems because of climate change.
There are blogs from scientists, like really big time scientists, like representatives of countries, climate scientists at the IPCC, crying. Like they're saying that they were breaking down every day in their hotel after reading the data that was coming in, because IPCC collects all the data from around all over the world. Then
and can people see this data? Our viewers, can they find this data anywhere?
You can go and read the IPCC reports, but they are very scientific and it's not very it's not easy reading, right? It's a bit difficult.
But you share that data. You share that data on your page sometimes.
Yeah, I share the data on the page. I mean, I doubt even Prakash Javadekar has read the report, but and he's our environment minister.
Do you want to plug your page quickly then on Insta or wherever you are?
So we are on Facebook as Climate Collapse Memes for Extinct Indian Teens.
Yeah.
But I would like to mention over here that because this understanding of this IPCC data is not for everyone, and especially given the disconnect and the lack of information in India about climate change, our media is completely sold out, so it has no time for climate change. the comparison between the Bihar floods and Sushant Singh Rajput, and Sushant Singh Rajput is more important. But what I'm trying to do now is to move my page to YouTube and actually break down this data for people, like in Hindi and in English. So that's the whole point, like breaking down this data, making it visualized for people to understand, and like really trying to drill through the points of how bad the situation is and how serious the challenge is.
Okay, so that's was a heavy debate, and we'll talk more about this. But we have now a matter of levity in front of us. So, Karthik, you have met my friend MC Afeem before. He's a stand-up comedian, and he's been doing, let's say, real-life comedy, analog comedy for so long, and now he's entering the digital age because like it's lockdown and he cannot go anywhere and nothing can happen. So he wants to come meet us, and he wants to do some stand-up comedy, tell us some jokes. So let's go to him. Let's go to Afeem. Let's cut to Afeem.
Afeem.
Yo.
Hi Bada Pow, hi Jamblu.
Yo.
कैसे हो आप लोग? So
Yo.
thanks for the opportunity Bada Pow. So
What's up, man?
मैं एक स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन हूँ. मैं सारे दर्शकों को बता दूं, मैं एक स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन हूँ, और लॉकडाउन के बाद से मैंने ओपन माइक नहीं की, ना ही कोई शो किया. So thanks for this show Bada Pow, and thanks for this opportunity. मैं अपने बारे में कुछ बता दूं. That I am a stand-up comic, as I've said before. और मैं माइक भी नहीं है आज तो डिओड्रेंट ही आज तो डिओड्रेंट. तो लेट मी टेल यू समथिंग अबाउट माई सेल्फ कि मैं आज सिर्फ एक जोक सुनाऊंगा, क्योंकि लॉकडाउन में इतना स्ट्रेस था, कुछ ज्यादा लिखा नहीं, तो एक जोक सुनाऊंगा, मस्त जोक सुनाऊंगा. Just give me some time, Bada. I'm just having a connection here.
Okay.
So the thing is, आप लोग मुझे जानते होंगे, आप लोगों ने मुझे कई जगह देखा होगा. जैसे मैं 18 दिसंबर 2018 को CLC में परफॉर्म किया था विद 30 अदर ओपन माइकर्स, और इसके अलावा आपने मुझे देखा होगा 17 सितंबर 2017 and etc. So
Afeem, get on with the joke, man.
Yeah, Bada Pow, just give me a second. I'm making a connection. Stand-up comedy is just not about just jokes.
Dude, you are live.
It's about the connection. It's about talking to your people. It's about.
Oh God, this guy is insufferable. Let's cut him. Let's cut back. Fuck. God, man. Fuck. First of all, he has one joke to tell. God.
It takes a while. It's hard. I'm sure it's hard when you're on a fame. It's
man. Let's watch some real comedy. Let's watch fish comedy. That's real comedy. That's the comedy of the future.
അച്ഛാ, ഏറ്റവും ദീർഘകാലം ജീവിക്കുന്ന മീൻ ഏതാ? അതോ അത് ചെമ്മീനായിരിക്കും. അയ്യേ, ചെമ്മീനൊന്നുമല്ല, ചിലതരം സ്രാവുകളാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. അയ്യോ, അപ്പം എനിക്ക് തെറ്റിയല്ലേ? അതെ അച്ഛാ, ചെമ്മീനല്ല, അച്ഛൻ ചമ്മീന്ന.
What a funny joke. Fish base humor. I'm sorry, was that insensitive? I don't know what that was, but it was funny. I know that it was funny. I don't want to upset the future communist government by saying that the joke in Malayalam was not funny. Okay, Pranav, getting back to you. So, Pranav, we have talked before. We have been friends for a long time, and you have told me about these things which, like, no one really knows about, or like in general discussion we don't hear about these kind of issues really when we talk about climate change. Like, for example, you once told me that the ground itself is sinking.
Yeah.
Is
mean,
the
this
ground
is,
sinking or is the water
Yeah,
coming up?
no. The ground is sinking, man. The
And
ground
water
is
coming up.
No.
So
Both
the
are
ground,
happening at the
so
same
the
time?
ground sinking, the ground sinking is what we call land subsidence. But it's not because of climate change. It's because of other environmental factors like
I think my
sucking out
bank
all the
offers
water
this.
from the fucking water table. You know.
Okay.
So what's happening
Ah.
basically is that as you do this, you have the water table, right? So when you suck out the water from there, like you're pumping out the water from there, as is happening in many parts of India, also around the world, the land above it starts compressing and it starts falling down because there's no water to hold it up. And what this does is it makes your land basically sink. So in places like California, I think the land which has the most land subsidence in the world, the land has sunk by 2 meters. You know, there's a pole over there which shows you where the land used to be and now where it is. And this is exactly the area where they have all these vineyards making wine. And they are sucking so much water out of the land. Imagine making vineyards in the middle of a desert, but they need the air from the beach, from the California beach, to do the French thing. They're trying to replicate the Mediterranean air. So land subsidence, and then comes into play when you have sea level rise. Now imagine you have a city which was at say 1 meter above sea level, and the people living in that city drank all the water from the ground. This is what happened in Venice. And now the city sunk over a course of a century or something, and now it's at sea level. At the same time, the sea level itself is rising from what was used to be 0, and now it's coming to like maybe 1 centimeter by the end of the century. So your land sunk, and your water is going up. So even if you were safe, like if the land wouldn't have sunk, you're not safe anymore. This is what is happening in Jakarta. This is what is happening in Venice. They sucked out all the water from the ground. And now, Jakarta, it's the capital of Indonesia, but it's gone. They have given up.
So it's really a double whammy then. What do you mean they have given up?
Yeah, they are going to move the capital, so they have given up on the capital.
Dang.
It's
So
a
that's a multi-million dollar then. It's a big deal then.
Dude, it's the second biggest urban conglomerate in the world. Like around 10 million people live over there.
So then how is
in
the
just
government moving them? Is government giving them free housing and free business in the new place?
I hope
just fact.
the Indonesian Communist Party is ready for a fight, man. Because they're not. They won't. The people who are really affected, like you have to go into Jakarta and look. And there's a very nice documentary from Deutsche Welle if somebody wants to see on YouTube. The people living in the slums are the worst affected because the people living in these posh colonies and skyscrapers have raised the level of their ground. So they have. I mean, obviously you have money to like put in like 50 tons of concrete. Cool, your level is raised.
Oh shit.
So, but the people who are living on sea level now are the slums and really poor neighborhoods.
Did you not tell me about something similar happening in India also?
So the problem in India is that we need a lot of attribution studies. This is something that the government has not really funded well. So you need these studies to attribute that the changes you're seeing are happening because of climate change. So you're attributing it to climate change. But
I was thinking
in Bihar, like these floods are getting more severe, and I mean, I have not well researched this, but I do have a feeling because Bihar, the groundwater has completely gone. Like last year we had this big water crisis over there, and the soil is, this floodplain soil, really, it's not a hard soil. So I think the Bihar has seen land subsidence. And what villages were not in the flooding area of a river before
they are
now in the flooding. Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's getting worse.
I think that's why it's getting worse. Plus,
every
it's also getting worse because the monsoon is getting worse because of climate change. So it's getting worse because I think it's getting worse because of these two things.
But tell me, this is something
I'm finally some justice, like rich people with beach houses would be fucked or something. But you're saying it's just the
I don't know. I mean, there's no justice
people.
in the world. We have to make it, right? But I think when the Jakarta capital moves, the whole capital moves. The rich people can't really help it. Like, think about it. Like, if the rich people move,
except it will be easier for them to move the poor, right?
Yeah, but the whole ecosystem, like those people living in the slums are their drivers, their mates, their gardeners, and so on, right? They're shopkeepers selling them groceries and so on. It's like Mumbai, and if these cities sink, the question now is that as a humanity, and this is the point of radical hope, I mean, maybe for Jakarta they don't have enough time, but for, say, Mumbai we have time. For Kolkata we do have time. Do we say, okay, we are going to abandon Mumbai and leave? Or we, as a humanity, the most human thing to do would be like, we are going to fight it out till we can. Like we are going to build a wall. I don't know. We are going to build a seawall. We're going to try to like get these people safe and sound. Like even the poor people, not just the rich.
That's not gonna happen.
And we're gonna try to do that with as many villages as possible. You know, because if Mumbai sinks, you lose all your economy. And how are you gonna like survive that?
So, like Karthik, you will be surprised to know. Can you guess what was the temperature in Arctic like last week? Guess what the temperature was?
Some shit, right?
Yes, as much as Delhi, like even higher than Delhi.
That freaked me out.
It was around 35 degrees Celsius.
What the
When I saw
fuck?
that, when I saw the 50, like it's 50 degrees nodding, I'm like, okay, so we're fucked. That's it. It's done.
Tell me, and like you told me that the Arctic has been on fire since forever now, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the Arctic forest fires are not exactly new. They've happened in the past, but they're getting more intense now. So, like for example, last year even Greenland was burning. You know, I mean, things that you never think about. But what's happening in the Arctic is what's happening in the Arctic is that you're seeing what we call the Arctic amplification of change. Like all the changes that are happening in the world are amplified in the Antarctic because of various conditions of the Arctic. The atmosphere is thinner at the Arctic. You know, the volume for the heat to dispense through is less, and so on. So it amplifies the change, and this is basically what is causing the Arctic to warm up so rapidly. It's warmed up twice as much as the rest of the world. So while the world on average has warmed up by 1 degree, the Arctic has warmed up by 2 degrees. So these forest fires and all these problems are happening because of that. The ice sheets are melting faster because the ocean is getting more warmer over there, and so on. As these forest fires happen,
there's a lot of sorry.
Yeah. What do you say?
I was saying I read somewhere about there's like multiple numbers of super volcanoes.
Yeah, but I mean, but I wouldn't count super volcanoes in climate change. I mean, it's
no,
not
I mean, like,
related.
Apparently, they're going to become active. Soon or something.
That I don't know about this. I've never read about this, but if that is the case, then that would be crazy. So in Arctic we have these huge amounts of permafrost, right? Like it has, I think, 90% of the permafrost in the world, and this is basically like a deep refrigerator, where you can, like, you know, you can see videos where they find old mammoths, like half decomposed, 100,000, 50,000 years ago. So this permafrost is in this area like Siberia and so on, Greenland, northern Canada, and the forest you have over here, I mean, forests do exist, are on a soil what we call like a peat bog, you know. You also have peat bogs in tropical rainforests like
and
Amazon,
what does it do?
Indonesia. So this is not even like you can't even call it soil. It's like a biomass, you know. If you give it another million years, it's going to turn into coal, you know. And this has a shit ton of compressed carbon content. Like it's just it's not like you're burning sand. You're burning carbon. And when the forest fire happens, if that fire, basically the soil, the peat catches fire, it is basically like it's going to be irreversible. You can never put it out. Like you will put it out in the summer, when it happens, and then in the winter it will burn underground, you know, and then in the summer it will come back above ground, and this process will continue and continue. So basically what you will have in the end of the day is a lot of carbon dioxide getting released into the atmosphere, a lot of methane getting released into the atmosphere. So, I mean, a beautiful, like we live in a beautiful planet, a glorious planet, yeah? It's all interconnected, all these processes are interconnected.
I mean, this is the one we have. It's like having parents.
Yeah, this is the one we have, and one thing affects the other, like, and we humans have to realize our space in this biosphere, not as masters of this earth, as shepherds maybe.
So you
part of it. Yeah,
you once told me that like this fire is kind of going inside the ground, and like it will never stop if like it can burn like that for years, right? Tell me more about that.
So basically, I mean, it's going into the ground, but why it's dangerous, and you know, like you asked me, what is this? Some points that you feel are like crazy, like land subsidence. So we have this thing called methane bomb, and this is actually really, I mean, it's like a literal bomb. So the point is that because there's a lot of carbon content trapped in the soil, in the permafrost, and in the peat, when this permafrost melts, the bacteria and the viruses inside that we talked about with the pandemic before, they're also in a frozen state. They're not in an active state. So as soon as it gets warmer, you're removing the meat out of the refrigerator. Now they can start eating up, decomposing all that biomass, all that dead biomass. And once they start doing it, they're going to release all the carbon dioxide into the air. If this biomass is under the water, because a lot of this biomass ends up underwater, because when the ice melts, it creates these temporary ponds, and if the soil below is still permafrost. So when it comes into contact with the water, it becomes methane. And methane is a gas which is like 70 times more stronger than carbon dioxide when it comes to the greenhouse effect. So it causes 70 times more warming than carbon dioxide. So it will suddenly, like if you have such an explosive release of methane into the atmosphere, it will create what we call a methane bomb. Suddenly, you snap your fingers and that's the point. That's the argument. It won't be like a snap, but the idea is like you snap your fingers and suddenly the greenhouse effect is getting stronger. Global warming is going up. Temperatures are rising more faster, at an accelerated rate. And for say a small amount of time, the Earth will suddenly get warmer. Like it might be 1 degree on average, and now it's like 3 degrees on average. But methane has a half-life of 9.5 years or something, 9 years. So it will decompose into carbon dioxide.
But still, for like 9.5 to 10 years, we are fucked then.
Yeah, we are pretty fucked, because it's like exploding a super volcano basically. So if the super volcano
and that will happen world over, right? In a go.
Yeah, suddenly your plants will die. Suddenly, a lot of people will have to face starvation.
It's not like limited to some part of the globe. It's the whole.
It's going to be the whole world. It's going to be the whole world. It's going to be the whole world.
When's this going to happen? Is there like a thing?
Man, I don't know. I mean, this is the point, right? Coming back to the collapse argument, I think it's going to happen within the next 20 to 30 years. The scientific community says, this is the problem, and this is why the alarmist position came into being. The IPCC, which is like the gold standard on climate change, kind of, it used to say that the permafrost will not start melting until 74 years.
Yeah, but it's already melting.
It's already melting, Yeah. And now we are expecting, and now in their new research, there will be changes because, they're getting new studies and so on. They will change it, sure. But that's why the alarmist position is like, you guys just don't know enough. It's not like you're lying to us. You just don't know enough.
Right.
This is also what IPCC did. Like in 2013, they said sea levels will rise by 50 centimeters by the end of the year. Now they're saying 100. In 2019, the new report.
So now the consensus is not about whether global warming is real or not. It's more about how horrible will it be? Will it be 50? Will we completely die, or will we burn and die? We all will burn and die.
We still have the deniers. Trump is a denier. Bolsonaro is a denier.
But inside the scientific community,
is India also a denier in general?
India
is also a denier, right?
No, India's not a denier.
India has a difficult position. It's a strange position.
To be a denier, you have to be a white, privileged, rich person. That's basically it. That's basically it. In Brazil, in America, that's basically it. Because you're the one who is going to get taxes on your car, and you can't pay, and all that shit. But it's like most of the denial comes from these high consumerist societies. India does not need to be in denial because we are getting affected by it. So we don't have that lifestyle that we have to give up.
The government is still going ahead with excessive coal mining, deforestation.
The government is playing the government is playing a joke on us.
Dangerous game.
It's basically telling us, we are doing so much about climate change. Like 2 days back, Piyush Goyal announced that by 2030 the entire Indian railways will be electrified using renewable energy. well, you can clap to that, but at the same time, his environment minister, on the directions of his prime minister, are going and destroying forests, which are kind of our defense against climate change. So, they are playing to the gallery. They know that some people are worried about climate change, so they're doing some things here and there, but until you stop this march of unfettered capitalism, you are not going to save us from capitalism, from climate change. And that's something that is not easy to do for a neoliberal like Modi. It's impossible. Like Adani and Ambani are becoming oligarchs. If they're becoming oligarchs, they're becoming oligarchs on the back of unlimited resources. So that they can idea of unlimited resources instead of like finding a middle ground. So even if another government comes, they will still. I mean, the debate is basically we have to change our philosophy of growth, of prosperity.
Right.
And this is a big. I mean, it's not a question for me to answer because I'm pretty sure there are many intellectuals in this world. But as a humanity, we have to start putting our mental energies instead of fighting on Hindu-Muslim and other bullshit that they're selling us on the media and the government.
That's for sure. Yeah.
We have to put our
it's just
mental
a fucking
energies into
circus at this
fighting the
point.
biggest crisis our species has known ever. And you put your mental energies first, and then you put your emotional energies. It's a long fight, man. We have to build that up.
Talking about building up, very bad segue. I wanted to
Check.
talk to. Can you hear me, Karthik?
Check.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. Sure, I can hear you, but I couldn't hear myself. All right. What's up?
Okay. So,
Sorry.
Karthik, how do you deal with this kind of, say, a very strong nihilism? How are you dealing with this? Because I'll tell you how I am dealing with. I have realized that the world is ending and like we'll all be living underwater. So I have started praying to the god of fish.
Okay.
God of fish. And it's not just any god. It's the god of the fish without a school. So we know that the...
Nice.
Yeah. So, God, can you hear us? God?
I can hear you.
God, the sea level is rising. Do you have anything to do with it? Is it that you wanted more space? Like, were you like expanding,
More
having
space for the fish.
more space for the fish? Some sort? Was it like your real estate project? What is it? What's up with that?
I'm sorry. How did you get this number? Who is this?
We call
this is Bada
God's
Pow.
phone book. We call the God phone book.
I hate your show. This show. Are you on your show? Cause I
Come on, the show is good. We do have some really shitty trolls today, but the show is good. Trolls are fucking assholes. But we will like...
Don't forget to buy the God phone book, everybody, by the way. All 33 crore gods.
God
All in one book.
everybody.
All in one book. 33 gods. 33 crore gods. All in one book.
All in one book.
Please do buy. We're sponsored by the yellow... Is it yellow or brown? Indian
It's
Gods Brown
brown.
phone book. Brown God phone book.
This fish color
Phone
troll.
book in my song. It's a
Do
phone book.
that fish.
Thank you for a phone book now.
Glub, glub, glub.
This is all the time.
Dooda. Is this that song?
That's how you say dude in Kerala. Duda.
Dooda. I told you. God, by the way, I heard that you got together with some friends at Stash Pro and you invited an amazing rapper here today.
Yeah.
And his name is Brandon and he does freestyle and he's very good at it. And you have some competition for us today.
I wanted to ask. I wish, you know what? I'm going to be traveling soon, and I wish I had something to roll up my sunglasses in, because I want to keep them safe. Do you have any? I want to like wrap up my sunglasses. Do you have any suggestions? of how
Yeah,
to do that?
absolutely. What about Stash Pro?
What? What? God. Stash What?
Stash Pro for all your rolling needs.
But not rapping needs. But
So yeah,
Hey Brandon, how are you?
Yo,
Can-
I'm good. How are you guys?
What's happening, man? Are you ready to be a
Chillin',
Stash
man.
Pro, to rap?
As ready as I
WRAP.
will ever be.
Jamblu, do you quickly want to tell our audience what this segment is about?
This segment
What's
is
gonna
about
happen?
Brandon rolling something in his Stash Pro
Okay.
rappers, and he's gonna be rapping while he raps. Do you get it? Do you get it?
I'll have to see to get
It's a
it, I
double
guess.
rap. We're not that smart, but it sounds the same. So rapping while rapping. Are you ready?
Are
you ready?
Right.
Are you
Yo, Brandon, are you ready?
Yep, I'm here, man. Let's do it.
Initialize sequence.
All right, and at the same time, somebody's going to be feeding. God is going to be feeding Brandon some words.
I'm gonna feed
So
you words,
just
my
put it-
child.
And everybody
yeah.
who's watching right now, please give words for Brandon to put into his rap. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
dude, throw me words, guys.
All right,
do it.
all right. Let's do this, bitch.
Let's give him a beat, I guess. Yeah.
Check.
Woo!
Yeah.
Give it to me, Brandon. Come on.
Time is running.
Onion.
Did I hear onions?
Onions,
I
baby.
put that shit in salad. They just can't handle all of the madness. Man, I go manic. This world is so
Bada Pow.
crazy. So I be making music till I go stupid.
Pow Bhaji.
Pow Bhaji, yeah, you know I like that. Every time I'm in the spot, they be going hard. Every time I do it, lots of the tomato, lots of that pow, lots of the butter. And
Cactus.
Sorry?
Cactus.
Cactus,
Show us
yeah.
what you're rolling, bro. Come on.
Cactus. Oh, whoa. Hold on.
Snip it.
Figure out some.
Snip it. Come on, snip it. Come on, the time is running out.
Snippets all the time. My life is like a bunch of snippets. Do they ever get it?
Uncle.
I'm doing what I wanna do like a magician. And you know we in the spot like we gon' ham. Don't really
Uncle.
understand. I'll be like, damn, what? Say again.
Uncle.
huh?
Uncle.
Uncles doing it like I'm bungee jumping off the top like ramen in my coat. I
Yo,
don't
bring the joint
really
up to the
like it,
camera.
so
Let me see that
Snip
joint
it.
while you roll it. Come on.
snip it, man. Kill it, man. Clip the
Yeah.
beat up. I'ma eat up all my veggies like I'm making snippets on the go. I got kill it. I just kill it.
Adrak.
Adrak in my chai, man, I love that shit. And you know that I be getting it all day long. Cause I drink a lot of tea till I get inside the spot. Yo, okay. Whoa.
Dorothy.
Sorry?
Dorothy as in the name.
Dorothy.
Come on. The time is running out. Look at
Almost
the
out of time.
Stash
Come on,
Pro
come on,
times.
come on. Finish it. Come on.
Something
Keep rapping.
Some weird shit in that cartoon, man. And like, okay, give me another word.
Amit
G, I don't really like that guy. He ain't really a G, he just tells a lot of lies. And I'm not with it, cause I got other moves to do with my crew. Do you feel
Reality.
I mean, this reality shit is not so new. I'm tryna hack the matrix like I got the flu. So damn sick. And really knows that I'm in the spot like I might just put
Turn on your finger phone, bro. Your finger phone isn't
bro. Turn on
working.
your finger phone.
It has to happen within. You
Keep
just
rapping.
left it 2 minutes. Quickly.
But you gotta
Turn
keep
on your
rapping.
finger
Come on.
phone.
Keep rapping at the same time. Don't stop.
Your next word is Xi Jinping.
Stash
Sorry?
Pro.
Your next word is Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
Say that again?
Xi Jinping. Jinping.
Shit, Jinping. I don't know what that
Chinese
word
premier,
is,
Chinese
man.
premier,
Having
come on.
Technical difficulties and it's got got me going like, oh damn, how do I handle this fucking phone, man? I'm trying to go ham.
Okay, cutie.
While I roll up this joint and it's looking like a cutie. Shit, they think that I'ma smoke a doobie, but I don't really wanna right now. Cause I'm already spliffed up in my brain like a king. Yeah, I'ma change shit up when I sing on the mic.
Brendan, one of your phones is not working, Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan.
It's part of the challenge!
Yeah, turn it down! Turn it down! Turn it down! Yeah, Brendan!
Is it working now?
You have 57, 58, 56, 55, 54, 53.
Hold on.
I'm
Stop
sorry, I
counting
don't
down
know
from 50,
this.
you jackass. Count down from
Okay.
10. Yeah, but put on the phone. You got your
And
phone.
keep rapping. You have lost it. Okay.
Rap.
Okay. Your word is sausage. Sausage.
Sausage, man. I'd rather eat broccoli, but I mean sausages with broccoli, sausages. Yeah, it's like...
Bucket.
Sorry, next word, what?
Turn your phone!
Turn your phone on, Brendan.
Phone is on.
Brendan, turn your phone on. Brendan, turn your fucking phone on. Hey, Brendan. Hey, Brendan.
Steve Carell. Lauda, the word Lauda.
Hey, Brendan.
The word Lauda. Lauda is your next word. Come on.
Too much pressure. Lauda.
Lauda pressure. Come on, keep doing it. Keep going.
Keep doing it. You
pressure,
can't
man.
stop. The time is running out.
Keep rapping. Keep rapping.
Come on. In the name of God of school, fish without school,
Shut the
and
fuck up.
stash.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, all right.
Brandon, keep going. Keep doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a word.
Yeah.
Lauda.
Yeah, but sure.
Lot of pressure all day, but I keep beating it. They wonder how, cause I guess I stay scheming on the low. Every time I do it like a ghost, they don't know how I flow like a pro. I just move it around and I flip these words upside down like a clown. Simply the clown rapper, chilling with Bada Pow and a bunch of homies talking about climate change, cause nobody else wanna get those thoughts in their brain, but we tryna get real easy with the way we distribute information. Like my name was G-Easy and I'm dropping all these bars to find a better way to make it a little breezy in this nation, cause it's getting really hot and I don't have no motherfucking patience and I wanna change shit up, but I don't know how, cause sometimes I get lost in these ego is to kill shit. Will you give me that?
That's it!
Were you able to roll the joint? Time's up. Were you able to roll the joint? Brandon,
I think he was. He did.
show me that joint, Brandon. Show me what you did.
Brandon, show me what you did.
Brandon.
Brendan, show me what you did.
That's your
Brandon
headphone
Bade.
cable, bro.
Did you roll a headphone cable? Is that what was
Did you
going
just make a
on?
headphone cable? That's very talented. That's amazing.
Also, like, not the purpose of the competition, but
But I think he won. Somehow.
did he win? Everyone wins on
No.
Bada Pow. Everyone
Thank you,
wins on
Brandon.
Bada Pow. We
Okay,
keep
we're
the
back.
yeah.
Brandon's awesome. That was fucking awesome, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
great.
Yeah.
That was
fucking awesome,
amazing.
dude.
Amazing. It was very difficult to do three things
I loved
together.
it.
We are trying to do this one show at a time and failing at it, so he at least did the
Yeah.
three
You're
things together.
Turning on, you're fixing your camera, you're rolling a joint, you're rapping, and you're listening to us shouting at you.
That is the
So-
kind of stress you get at Bada Pow show.
Bada Pow, Bada Pow. All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is the intermission, and in the intermission we go to the Brain Fart crew, the official crew of anxiety.
Brain farts.
और जनाब आज का है चाय के साथ
जनाब चाय के साथ तो मैं सिर्फ क्रिपलिंग सेंस ऑफ सेल्फ डाउट ले रहा हूँ।
सुबह सुबह क्रिपलिंग सेंस ऑफ सेल्फ डाउट।
जी हाँ, सुबह सुबह क्रिपलिंग सेंस ऑफ सेल्फ डाउट, वरना बस वो मजा नहीं है दिन में।
हाँ नहीं ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, अपना अपना टेस्ट होता है यार। नहीं नहीं मैं तो बिस्किट लेता हूँ, मैं तो बिस्किट। हाँ
ये वाला स्केच उतना फनी नहीं था।
पर ये माइल्डली फनी स्केच था, तो ज्यादा फनी भी नहीं बनाना।
सही।
You have been to a Skoda showroom. Your car looks like this. Or this. And not this. You have spent between 4 lakhs and 20 lakhs. Or in the UK, 4,000 pounds to 20,000 pounds. Or in the barter system, another Skoda.
This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance or training purposes.
Hello, Manmohan speaking. How may I help you?
हाँ मनमोहन, ये इकोनॉमी बड़ा डाउन चल रहा है आजकल।
हाँ वक्त मतलब खराब है, मतलब
हाँ नहीं, हाँ वक्त तो वैसे मेरा भी खराब चल रहा है। हाँ अच्छा, कुछ ये इंडाइजेशन के लिए है तुम्हारे पास?
इंडाइजेशन सर, ये वॉच रिपेयर शॉप है।
हाँ तो मैं पिछले 2 महीने से घड़ी खा रहा हूँ।
आप पिछले 2 महीने से रिस्ट वॉच खा रहे हैं?
नहीं, घड़ी डिटर्जेंट।
सर वैसे इंडाइजेशन के लिए जेलसिल ठीक रहता है। हेलो
सही जाएगा।
Our next guest really knows what's up. We have with us a nose dropping expert.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, जी हाँ, नोज ड्रॉप मतलब ये नहीं कि आपका नोज ड्रॉप हो रहा है, नोज ड्रॉप मतलब नोज ड्रॉप्स। सी नोज ड्रॉपिंग इज एन आर्ट। जैसे मीडिया में दिखाते हैं आपको कुछ बिल्कुल करने की, बनाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है। इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल प्रोसेस। इट्स अ 2-fold प्रोसेस, राइट? फर्स्ट यू लाई अपसाइड डाउन, सेकंड यू टेक द नोज ड्रॉप्स एंड यू ड्रॉप द नोज ड्रॉप्स इन योर नोज। ये ऐसे करके ड्रॉप। थर्ड, ये लास्ट बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, आप देखिए ध्यान से देख लीजिए। ये यू टेक योर फिंगर लाइक दिस एंड यू होल्ड योर नोज। एक बार फिर देख लीजिए, ऐसे ये लिया, ये फिंगर और ये ऐसे, ये होल्ड ऐसे
ऐसे।
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। देखिए ऐसे करने के 2 फायदे हैं, एक तो ये अंदर रहता है, दूसरा बाहर नहीं आता है।
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Hey,
Brain
so back.
fart. Brain fart.
We're
So,
back from brain farts.
And Afeem sends apologies to all of us. He came here to tell a joke and it did not work out.
He
But
just
like,
can't focus. He just doesn't know how to focus.
no, but like he has found his focus. He's found his focus. Listen, he's my friend.
Are we going to him
I
again?
want all. Yeah. Just like let's give him one
You're
more
gonna
chance.
give him
He's
another
my
chance. Okay. Fine.
Yes, he's my friend.
अरे बड़ा पाव भाई, तुम बुरा क्यों मान जाते हो यार? सुना रहा हूँ ना जो, वो सुनो।
भाई साहब।
जस्ट लेट मी बी वार्म अप।
Yeah.
This is inappropriate.
Afeem bhai. Man.
This is getting weird right now.
अरे
Afeem.
जोक सुना रहा हूँ ना। देखो मैं एक जोक लिख के आया हूँ, मैं बहुत अच्छे से सुनाऊंगा। और मैं
You always do this.
मैं बिलीव नहीं रखता, क्वालिटी में बिलीव रखता हूँ।
Dude, come on, man.
Just don't patronize.
Fucking bullshit.
So like मैं दर्शकों को बताना चाहूंगा कि मैं अब अपना स्टाइल चेंज करना चाहता हूँ। जिन्होंने मुझे पहले देख रखा है, अब मैं वैसा नहीं करूँगा। अब मैं अपनी लाइफ के अंदर जाऊंगा और यू नो और मोर लाइक यू नो मेटा ऑल्ट और टेक नोटारो जो नेथन फील्डर अपने शो में करता है, वो मैं
Okay. No one cares.
करूंगा। stand up comedy में और Hannah Gatsby
literally no one cares.
Say inspired.
Oh God! Fuck him! Fuck this guy! Cut him! God, Jesus Christ! What's his problem?
This is not okay. Definitely not okay. Anyway, we're back with Pranav, who is a legit musician as well.
Oh God. He is.
As well as a climate change activist.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your music. You do music as Never Stood, right?
Yeah, I do music as Never Stood. So basically, I'm a DJ, and I started DJing with my friend from Pakistan. We started DJing like 5 years ago, and we call ourselves Partitioned. That's the act we do together.
Yes.
So we also have the punchline, a DJ from India, a DJ from Pakistan, united. But we did that for 5 years. We still do that. So at parties and so on, we play together. But I went down into making music. He's not so much into it, so he's just mixing. But I started making music, and mostly what I'm trying to make is like techno or more like on the deep house side, but bringing in a lot of oriental elements, like elements from India, so or from Arabia and so on.
Okay.
And the idea is to make this really smooth music that you like. It's like this sundown music, or afternoon music you hear at parties maybe. It's that kind of. It's not launch music, but it's more on the cool, on the chill side. And yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing with my music. I made a song. We've been performing since 5 years, but now with my new music, I'm still making my new album. I already made one album as Partitioned with my friend. But now
and where can people listen to it?
So you can find us on soundcloud.com/partitioned. And my new music is still not out there. I mean, I made the music for one of Bada Pow's songs with Untouchables.
Oh yes. We had a song called Banjara.
Yeah, that's not usually what the kind of music I make. I make more like that, not that beat. But yeah, so like the song you're hearing right now is one of mine, and so I'm making this more on the deep side, techno side. Because that's basically what I play. The kind of audiences I get here in Munich come for those kind of parties. But this sound is not so common over here, and I really like the sound. I really like this deep,
let's hear it out.
Indian vibe. Yeah, you can hear it. So you hear all these Indian elements, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's with the santoor and with the sitar. And
because it's like like you said, the people in Germany, like Munich, like this kind of sound because it's a exotic thing for them.
It's kind of exotic, yeah. It's kind of exotic. So there are not so many artists who make this kind of sound and so on.
Yeah.
So for this song, I got this Indian woman. She's from Karnataka, and she's trained in classical music. So she's giving the background vocals. I recorded her right in this room because this is my studio. So
our guests want to know if you also have like more bouncy stuff on, like faster stuff, higher BPM stuff, more upbeat stuff on your.
Fuck anybody who says this kind of stuff, because everybody fucking like. I'm also like DJing somewhere in China, and some girl comes up to me and she's like, "Can you play something that'll make me dance?" And I'm like, "Fuck you."
But why not? Yourself. Why not? No, tell me why. Why not?
Fuck it. He's playing his music. He's gonna play his fucking music. Okay, I don't give a shit. Whoever wants.
At parties I usually play more harder stuff, but I want to make this kind of stuff. I also make some hard stuff which I have not released or anywhere, even the preview. This is a preview. But I'm making.
Okay, our guests are asking you to repeat your SoundCloud page name.
So my SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/partitioned, and that's partition with ED. And my other one is soundcloud.com/neverstood, but I have not released anything on Neverstood.
And
but
when
this
should
song
people
drops,
expect?
This song should drop in a month or something, I think. But right now I'm spending all my music time making music for my YouTube channel. So
yeah. You want to quickly plug your YouTube channel?
I actually want the people to hear this part because I really think this is like a beautiful part about the song, especially with the classical singer.
Nice.
In my future sets, it'll be my first song.
So
it'll be like the intro. It'll be like the intro, and then I'll make.
Okay.
Then I'll go into more faster songs. But it gets even more heavy, like in another minute or something.
Cool.
So she really did a good job singing on, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Her vocals.
Yeah, the mix sounds great as well.
And now this part is really nice. I really had to put this punch in. If you can hear this part. This is our old version. I mean, I'm still working on some edits on this song. But like I said, I'm spending more time making music for the YouTube channel. It's like a 20-30 minute video, and the background score takes a lot of time. And I really want the music to it to be an audio-visual experience, so that for example, when I'm saying something really it's not like music you buy off the internet and just put in the back of your video. When I'm making a point, the chord should go like dun. It should make you the music should do its job. So it takes time to make
more narrative-based music.
Yeah, narrative-based music. So that's the YouTube channel I'm making. Like you asked me, it's going to be on climate change. It's from my page. You can find us on Climate Collapse India. I mean, YouTube links are not really great, but if you search for the channel, maybe you get it. I'm planning to launch in a month. I have around 12 videos planned.
Oh wow!
We are going
So
to be
an
talking
entire
about,
season.
Yeah, it's like we're going to be talking about the entire biosphere. So, for example, first we're going to introduce the problem, what is global warming and climate change, and then we're going to move through the different parts of the biosphere. So, the second episode is like ice, just ice.
Okay.
In Hindi, barf. The third episode is Mahasagar or ocean. So, then we go to wind, land, mountains, forests, animals, humans, India, capitalism, fascism. This is kind of the flow of the whole series. It's building up in the end to create, it's not only just ecology, just explaining you environmental facts. The idea is to also build a movement out of it, like give some political messaging, some social messaging.
Right.
So I'm going to be ranting politically. So most of it is just facts. And then in the end of the videos, I'm going to be ranting politically on the state of the world with visuals and so on.
Nice.
So that's how I have it in my head. That's how I'm making it. And a lot of friends of mine who are musicians, who are DJs, who are music producers, they're helping me. They're making the music for some of those videos. Some singers are helping me. So it's really like I'm trying to get as many people involved, give them credits,
a more community kind of a music production thing.
Yeah, a whole community kind of thing. And I have friends who are translating my scripts. So it's very important for me for the videos to be in Hindi. That's my first goal. English is just like for the other audiences because I really want to reach out to the Hindi audiences. And if I ever get money, like if I make money from this YouTube channel, I'm going to get it translated into other Indian languages.
Should people contact you to for translations and all? If anyone wants to offer help with translation
I haven't right now modeled the workflow I'll be using to get this translated. Like if I do it through the community and people, like I have to really sit down and think of a workflow, and I'm thinking like once I'm done with the series I will think of a workflow. So like I can have 10 translators for one language and they can translate one page, not too much work, but then they can cross check each other and so on, some kind of workflow, online workflow, and then who will record it in the language. It's something that I have to think of.
Okay,
but that's a YouTube channel.
I do, however, know someone who figured it out. Who figured out how not only to make videos, but who to make videos for, right? And that is my friend, Michalist. His name is Michalist because he's the Michalist Mishal out there. And he makes beautiful videos about fish. And let's watch one of those videos.
എടോ ഇവിടെ ലോക്ക്ഡൗണായി 3 മാസം ആർക്കും മീൻ തിന്നാൻ കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ല. എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര പേടിയാവുന്നു. അതിന് അച്ഛനെന്തിനാ പേടി? നമുക്കുള്ള ഭക്ഷണം അവരിട്ട് തരുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ. എടോ മണ്ട, അതല്ല. ഇനി അവർക്ക് മീൻ തിന്നാൻ കൊതിയായി നമ്മളെ തന്നെ തവയിലിട്ട് പൊരിച്ചാലോ? അച്ഛാ.
Michalist Mishal from Michelin. Maybe his Michelin stars in fish.
I think who can really get fish humor? The god of fish who don't have school. God, are you still with us, God?
Yeah.
God, what do you think about these videos?
എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ഇഷ്ടമായി. എനിക്കത് മുട്ടൻ താല്പര്യമാണ്. അത് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയവനൊക്കെ ഒരു ദൈവത്തിന്റെ.
Is Malayalam the official language of the sea or what?
അതെടാ തണ്ടി.
Sea is the god of.
I will talk in your English language.
Yeah, my English language.
Yeah.
The language which I invented.
Man, I can totally see Bhakts cancelling the ocean because it speaks Malayalam.
Do you hold elections, by the way? Or are you running a fucking communism down there?
What do you mean?
I want to know if the god is holding elections down there, if everything is democratic.
Bro, here we have thousands other problems. Here we have some shark and all is coming, they are eating the squid. The squid is fighting with the crab. Like, fuck you and your election and all. We don't have such time.
Yeah, and they can't maintain a school, so they can't be
This is what I'm talking about. Under the sea,
churches.
Downwards better. That's
okay. You are
you take it from me.
Cancelled.
I heard you all have like mercury poisoning though. All the fish have mercury poisoning.
That's a common. It's a common.
Does that mean you also have ED?
But like sea is a weird space because you can get mercury poisoning and also seafood poisoning, and also just general fish poisoning.
Correct.
Also, there's shit everywhere.
Shit. You are also shit. Your life is shit.
But that's not their fault.
Everything is shit.
You know why it's not fish's fault? They never went to the school.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pranav,
you're insulting a god. Okay, you consider your action.
Glub. Pranav, do you have questions for the fish god? Pranav?
I don't know. How is it going with the plastic situation in the ocean?
Yeah, most of my family is dead. They're completely dead. But I don't know. I ate them, and it's okay now.
Okay, so
you ate your own
it
family.
did help the situation.
Yeah, bro. What do you need? What do you need? Some sand.
But what are you doing about the plastic, man? Because we are not.
We're trying to eat the plastic also. We make plastic toran, plastic sambar, plastic avial.
So this Onam, how many plastic dishes are you gonna have this Onam?
We have 32 plastic dishes, then plastic pasta.
Amazing.
It's
Well,
too
glad to be of help. Now we are going to.
You can keep dumping plastic in the ocean. We love it.
Okay.
Love
All
it.
right.
Just
All
love
right. So what we will now do is take some questions from the audience, and let's see.
I guess
We have some
Trump
questions.
is right. What?
That was the first question. That was the first question.
He's speechless.
So, if you go on Tinder, every fifth profile says, I'm an environmentalist. How about saying you're an eco-fascist? No, when someone says they're an eco-fascist, you think, oh, this person wants to kill poor people, this person wants to reduce population by killing poor people and all. But these people, these environmentalists, have the very same idea of saving the environment. So, if you just want to kill poor people, if you just want to ghettoize people, you're not an environmentalist. You are a regular fascist ass. That's what you are.
So tell us about eco-fascism.
No, I think what the point he's trying to make is fairly correct. Like as a critique of environmentalists, many environmentalists around the world, but not all environmentalists. Like we have Vandana Krishna from India. She's very renowned, and she's not one of those. So I think it's something that you have to realize. Like I can put on my Tinder, I'm an environmentalist, right? Like you can, any one of us can do. Like we like trees, we like some green shit. Okay, cool. We like to go to Jim Corbett every now and then. But you have to understand the politics of environmentalism, like really deep down. Like just seeing it online and going and hugging a tree is not enough. Everything requires reading. Everything requires you to inform yourself. Anything, even if you're becoming a bhakt. I would rather have a bhakt who knows Hindutva than doesn't know Hindutva. But fuck fascists. Okay, fuck that. So there are these environmentalists who do not connect the environmental fight with the economic crisis. And you don't have to like really be that dumb to connect it. Just research a bit. I mean, if you're so into this idea, like I am devoutly an environmentalist, okay, an eco-socialist or something, but I have researched it because I'm devoutly into it. So I've researched it, I read about it, I inform myself with whatever time I have. And I do not see through that information in any way that how capitalism can align with environmentalism. So once you start reading about it, you see that capitalism is the cancer, not humans. Humans are not the virus. Capitalism is the virus that has led us to a state which is destroying the world. And the economic crisis and the environmental crisis are coming on a collision course together. they're already there actually. They're merged. They are
in
one and the same thing.
Then
And
the
once you
fascism is
realize-
really the
no,
friend of the climate change. Like all this climate collapse, it is thanks to fascism then, right?
No,
it's actually the other way
I-
around then.
No, I see it in a different sense. I see it. So first of all, I see that these. And so coming back to the, let me finish the previous point. So, if you are able to connect your fight as anti-capitalist, like if your climate change fight is anti-capitalist, then I
Right.
think you have a right to call yourself an environmentalist.
Right.
Because other than that, your fight is not. And this whole idea of killing the population and so on, it comes basically from there. Like, if you're rich, if I'm rich, for me, like, oh man, if we decrease the population of some black guys in Africa by
Right.
half, the world will be saved. But no, the problem is that 90% of the consumption in the world, the greenhouse gas emissions are being produced by the top 10%. So
Right.
if the top 10% inherit this earth, we're still fucked.
Right. Right.
So you have to understand that there is somebody in America who thinks that you should be dead. That girl on
Right.
Tinder should
Right.
be dead. Or the
Right.
guy on Tinder should be dead. That he shouldn't exist. So it's just about privilege, like who has more privilege. It's a very privileged position to take. And those poor people are not really polluting what you are polluting. You are taking 2 flights a year and, I mean, doing,
Right.
running your ACs 24 hours. Those guys don't even have an AC. So it's all these things, and the privileged position makes you think. They had a very nice experiment from Equality Labs. They did this experiment where they gave everyone a Monopoly board, and people who were playing Monopoly basically they rigged the game. So there was a rich
Right.
guy and a poor guy. The rich guy
Right.
got double the money than the
Right.
poor guy on every go. But after the rich guy won the game, as he would have, he didn't realize that he won the game because of the game being rigged, because of him getting 200 instead of 100 on go. And it shows you that people who are rich, people who are privileged, they think that they are smarter, they are better than the rest of us.
Right.
So it is
And
a
they
human
deserve to,
tendency.
yeah.
They did this test on 50 different groups, and not even in one group did the person realize that he won, he became rich, he won the game because the game was rigged.
Right.
So privilege makes you think, but I wouldn't I don't really call out environmentalists, because I know many people who are for the environment and so on are not that
Right.
informed. And that's
Right.
again one of the purposes of the YouTube channel, to not only
Right.
tell you what the ecological position is, what the science is, what the facts
Right.
are, but
Right.
also give you that understanding that how capitalism and is destroying it. And your question about fascism,
Right.
I think seeing the world turn fascist for me
Yeah.
is a good cause of climate collapse, because just when we need to come together, we are getting divided. Like we are supposed to come together as a one humanity, and we are getting
Yeah.
isolationists,
Right.
xenophobia, bigots,
Right.
and bullshit.
Right.
And we have to
Right.
come together as a community, and we are dividing
Right.
the community by Hindu Muslim.
Right. Right.
Because you cannot survive this shit without community, a sense of community, man.
Right. God
Yeah,
of the
so
sea,
that-
what do you have to say about the sense of community that is required in these times? God?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what do you have to say about this growing people, falling apart and not, being together in the times that we need to be together?
Yeah, it's a problem. That's a big problem.
Okay. Are the fish all together? Are all the fish swimming together with fin and fin?
No. The sea is huge, man. We are
Right.
everywhere. We are
And
everywhere.
a lot of diversity in fish. Lot of fish diversity.
Too much diversity. In fact, we are trying to kill some fish.
Do you have any songs of solidarity like "We will swim fin and fin, we will swim fin and fin," something like that? I don't know if I'm being
Actually,
sensitive.
that's our national anthem. How do you know this?
I don't know. I am friends with a lot of musicians, so I keep hearing stuff.
Oh.
We have one on our show today. Do you have a question for him?
Yeah,
About climate?
I know this guy. He came when he was a child. He drowned in the sea. And then
Okay.
we caught him. Then we threw him back because we were like, what the fuck? What is this thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saved a human.
With his life.
So I think you saved a human.
We just discarded it. We
Okay,
are like,
discarded.
no thanks.
Like plastic. Okay. So you kept the
But not
plastic, but you
so.
discarded the human. That was your game plan.
Yeah,
See,
man, I was
game
very
process-
Nothing.
I was wearing a plastic tube, and the plastic tube is still in the ocean, and I came out, man. I didn't know that was the reason.
Wonderful. This is a model. It's a role model. You're a role model for all pathetic humans. Pitiful humans.
Well, it's obvious there are a lot of role models in the sea. What we are going to do is we are going to go watch a movie on the role models which exist in the sea. We are quickly going to watch a movie.
Exist in the sea. We are quickly going to watch a movie.
എടോ മനുഷ്യനാവുന്നതാണോ മത്സ്യമാവുന്നതാണോ നല്ലത്? അതിപ്പോൾ മനുഷ്യന്മാർക്ക് എത്ര പ്രാരാബ്ദങ്ങളാ, മത്സ്യം തന്നെയാണ് നല്ലത്. അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞാലും എങ്ങനെയാ മനുഷ്യനാവുന്നതാണ് നല്ലത്? അതെങ്ങനെ? അത് മനുഷ്യന്മാർക്ക് ശബ്ദമില്ലാതെ ആവിയിടാലോ, മീനുകൾക്ക് കുമിളകളില്ലാതെ ആവിയിടാൻ പറ്റില്ലല്ലോ.
Look, none of this makes any fucking sense. Why are we listening to some fish shit with a fish fucking god? What the fuck is this? What's happening here?
I don't know. We are having a okay. Let's not listen to God. Let's go to the next question.
So like after this whole climate change thing, क्या मोदी जी सही कहते हैं? I mean, think about it. क्या हमारी क्षमता सच्ची में कम हो गई है या फिर सच्ची में क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है? क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं हमारी क्षमता तो कम हो ही गई है. We are very complaining all the time. AC ठीक करो, ठंड ज़्यादा हो रही है, गर्मी ज़्यादा लग रही है. I don't know. Modi might be right. No, I'm sorry. I think it's climate change. I have no idea. What do you think about it?
So Pranav, I'll say, how I would like to.
I'm really sorry, but my audio dropped, so I didn't really hear the whole of it.
What I will do is I will condense her question for you, right? She's talking about how people keep talking about like it's our fault that climate is changing and we are feeling cold and warm, and as if like firstly the issue that it gets reduced to whether like there is like 1 degree rise in climate or like 1 degree fall in climate. First of all, this entire issue gets reduced to that. Second part is that there is this entire debate about why can't I do something on my own level? Like there is this entire issue around veganism and stuff like that, or you stop buying polythenes and like that will fix everything, and the governments keep coming up with these kind of plans. What do you have to say about that? This individualistic effort.
So I think there is some space for individual effort. I mean, no doubt about it, right? Like, but it's the main focus is supposed to be on the system. The individual effort can easily follow after that, or it can follow simultaneously. Like you mentioned veganism. I'm not in favor of like shoving veganism down people's throats. I'm more in the favor of people realizing that that's what we have to do eventually. There is very sound ecological basis for veganism, but I do not promote it, and I do not eat meat, but I do not promote it. It's not the central pillar of my life. The central pillar of my life is the climate fight. So you can suggest it to people, you can inform people about it, and if they out of choice and out of conditions, like if meat is your only source of protein, and I don't know, the fucking avocado costs like 500 rupees, then you're going to go for the meat. So that's why we have to change the system. That's more important. Like you could create a vegan society, but first you have to make sure that everyone has at least what they need, like to live.
Right.
Yeah. And with corporations, at least they have to take the onus on this.
Yeah. So the problem,
like you said, if people are saying don't use petrol, well, how are people going to get around if there's no like viable sources of energy around?
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm a musician. I'm not,
and so that's why we talk about a just transition, because you could transition tomorrow from fossil fuels. Let's say Modi goes to the Lal Killa and he announces, okay, aaj se sari gaadiyan band.
Right.
ठीक है, कल से सारी गाड़ियां बंद. But then how many of your taxi drivers lose their jobs, your bus conductors lose their jobs, and transportation of food,
people go hungry and stuff like
transportation of food, No, let's say they found a way for that, like they're using trains or something. But like, how many people are going to lose their jobs? Like, even when you say that, I mean, coal is a bad fuel and we should ban coal. It does not mean that I don't care about the 70,000 or 700,000 coal miners who work in India. It's the highest employment in coal in India, like in the world.
Which became apparently a big issue in America during elections when all the coal miners felt that Hillary was coming for the job.
Yeah, so you will just have, if you do this bourgeois environmentalism, like the first question we had, or the second, if you do it this way, then you're going to just have more fascism.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just going to lead to more and more fascism, because somebody's going to show up and he's going to say, hey, and climate denialism also, mind you, which is a virus which has not hit the Indian mentality yet, but you're going to have these problems because out of this, people losing their jobs en masse and then having nobody to look after them because it's a neoliberal system. They're going to end up either going towards the left or towards the fascists. But right now, because the fascists are running the country, they're going to go towards the fascists.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle, we have to create this resistance. We have to create a consensus, and we have to make sure that we convert those people to our side.
Yeah, and we have to understand that this is not just about getting slightly uncomfortable with the climate and like slightly, being slightly warm or slightly cold. It is a collapse. It's a calamity that we are all facing.
I think the question, because you paraphrased it or condensed it, she also said 1 degree up and down. I mean, 1 degree up and down is an average, a global average. Temperatures in India might have increased by, I think, 2 or something. If you go to the Middle East, temperatures have increased more. Or the Arctic, it's like 2.5 degrees average. So averages kind of hide the whole thing. Some areas are going to get really fucked up. Like sea level rise, for example, on an average is going to be 100 centimeters. But given the topography of the sea, the ocean floor is not the same everywhere. Some places are going to see more sea level rise. Given how the waves work, how the tides work, how the currents work, they are going to get flooded faster. So it's not looking at the average. We only it's good in a scientific way, but you have to break it down to look at local regions, and that's how again the community comes, because the local community is what's going to fight against climate change at the decentralized level.
Right.
The solutions have to be molded around them.
Right. And then the personal responsibility also has to follow.
Yeah, the personal responsibility has to follow, but it has to come out of a deep sense of what we are doing. Like it's again the same thing. Like you can put you can put 1 million people in your Aam Aadmi party, let's say, but not all 1 million of them are secular.
Right.
If you're standing, I don't think Aam Aadmi Party stands for secularism anymore. But if you're standing for an ideology, an idea of a better humanity, a better system, then you better have people who believe in it, like who are doing it out of their heart, out of their mind, not out of some forced government law that says we are going to ban beef or something.
No, but that's the thing. I think it's not about banning beef, but I think even there can be government laws which skew towards the positive. Right, not everybody.
Yeah, the government's job. Obviously, there's a government's job. There's also a libertarian people who are like, the state is not needed to fight climate change. The market will solve everything. Right. Obviously, there's a government's job in regulating the markets, in regulating capitalism, even if you're not getting rid of this.
Exactly.
But there's also a government's job in.
But once you get into people's livelihood and stuff, it's not gonna last for most people in India, especially people who are they don't have the basic necessities and shit, and they need to take care of themselves, find the easiest way from point A to point B. So
we are already witnessing, if you look at just the floods in India, there's per year India is losing $35 billion to floods.
Damn.
And if you look at climate migration, we don't consider them climate migrants.
Just drained.
But if you look at all these people who are leaving Vidarbha, for example, which has been drought-stricken, come to Mumbai and work in really shitty jobs and live in slums and wherever they can to just survive, then they are climate migrants. They are internal climate migrants. And how many more are we expecting? Imagine if they're saying that 2/3 of the Himalayan glaciers will melt by 2100. What happens to this whole Ganga floodplain?
Right.
The 500 or 600 million people who have called it home for 3,000 years, wherever civilization is, where a lot of civilization has been created, ancient history and so on. What's going to happen? How are they going to eat? It's crazy.
Exactly. I've seen
I said, whenever you hear these things, you just go into a day or two of grief.
I've seen
Whenever you hear these things, you just go into a day or two of grief. It's like I said, whenever you hear these things, you just go into a day or two of grief. It's like I said, whenever you hear these things, you just go into a day or two of grief. It's like I said, whenever you hear these things, you just go into a day or two of grief.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's why I started making this channel, because I was like, and that's the thing, like individual responsibility. Your individual responsibility is to mobilize.
Right.
My act of defiance, my act of resistance that I am now partaking in is making this YouTube channel to reach out to as many people, not to make money, but to like just do it because it needs to be done. You know, the media is not going to do this job. They're not even interested. Like completely sold out. They are the sources of the main source of information we have in today's day and age is not informing people about why their houses are getting flooded, what they should be doing about it.
Right.
They're not even showing that their houses are flooded. It's crazy.
No,
that's the world we live in.
Something else. But I mean, it has to be a profitable. You have to make it look or seem profitable, or make it profitable to be environmentally conscious.
No, but that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. The resistance you have to build is supposed to be against the system. You can't be profitable about this. The resistance is against the idea of profit, like endlessly profiting by destroying the earth.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you have to make the opposite. The government has to make legislations and make sanctions which allow the preservance of like certain ecologies and stuff more profitable. Like if you are using old forms of fuel or old ways to like keep your companies going, then you have to be taxed more heavily than a company who's using solar power.
I mean,
you know, like,
so these are the solutions we already know of. These are the solutions we already know of. You know, carbon taxes.
People find work around them.
They find work.
And,
that's the problem.
but you need a significant push, and the only body that can push that is the state. And you need pro policies, you need subsidies, you need funding. You need funding in research. Like let's say if the crops are going to get less nutritious, then shouldn't I forgot the name of the institution, but shouldn't the Indian government's prime seed research institute be already getting millions of dollars per year to research on seeds which can survive a warming climate? Or are we going to wait 20 years and then continue our slavery to Western capital, as we have done with Monsanto and so on? So, and the same thing goes with batteries, same thing goes with anything, electric batteries, electric cars, whatever. Like, do you want to be betrothed to Western capital? Will they transfer the technology? I mean, I hope they do, because that's supposed to be the part of the climate deals we try to make. But it's something that you have to already start thinking about in the long term. But you are not, because you're more interested in making sure that the government in Madhya Pradesh should fall before you put a lockdown.
That was a very UAPA thing to say. But
why was that a European thing to say? I don't get it.
UAPA thing, not European.
Oh,
UAPA.
I thought you said European. I'm like, what?
Acha, listen. Talking about grief, I feel grief, and I want to confess to the God. God, are you there? God? Listen, I've invited a friend today to my show, and then I kicked him out. I'm feeling grief about that. Should I like invite him again for like a bit? Like maybe he can complete his, because like he wants to launch his channel and he really feels committed to this. Should I give him one more opportunity?
I don't care.
God doesn't care. Truth has never been
cared.
spoken before. God does not care. Let's go to Afeem. Let's cut to Afeem then.
Hi
Afeem.
अब प्लीज मुझे चांस दे दो. आप ऐसे बार बार मुझे कट करोगे तो ये मेरे टैलेंट की बेइज्जती है. ठीक है? So now we'll start with the joke.
Yeah.
I would request you to please don't disturb me now. Okay. So guys, कभी आपके साथ ऐसा होता है कि
as far as you complete your joke in time.
आप सुबह उठे हो और फिर उसके बाद आपने कॉफी बनाई हो, फिर उसके बाद sorry guys.
Did you forget the joke?
You know what? Bada Pow. Let it be. You call.
Let what be?
No, I will not. I don't. I'm not in a mood to
complete the joke.
You please keep.
What?
Quiet. Like I was in such a great mood. I was about to tell my joke, and you cut me off.
We all were. We are doing a show here.
And like
Because
I think it was my game-changing thing. Like it was my career
Yeah,
would have been
yeah. You bet your ass.
if this show could have gone well.
Damn,
No,
Karthik, what should I do with this
You
guy?
need to cut me off. You patronize me. You invite me. You
I'm-
see a
I'm just
great
gonna play
and
some
of
sad
course you
music in the
invite
back.
me, and then instead of supporting a
As you
fellow
lose your
artist,
friendship.
Yeah, fucking laugh
oh,
at him.
sorry, you are not an artist.
Damn
I am
idiot.
the artist, and instead of supporting,
You are not
me,
even
your
listening to me.
friend, You're just patronizing me. You're making me nervous.
Damn, man.
This is not the way. You know what? Fuck you, man.
God damn, man. What an asshole. Fuck me!
Fuck you.
Fuck me! Woo! Dude, I gave you the chance to do this joke. Just do your joke and go.
Dude, you. I don't have words to say how big an asshole you are.
No, don't say words. Don't say words. Tell the joke. Come on. Where the fuck are you going? Is he fucking giving me? Is he giving me attitude? Cut him off, man. Cut him off. Fuck him. What a fucking major asshole, man. Come on.
That is sad, man. That is sad.
I don't know what to say about that. Let's watch a funny video to like calm that down. Like that was a real downer. Let's go into fish comedy.
അച്ഛാ ഏറ്റവും ദീർഘകാലം ജീവിക്കുന്ന മീൻ ഏതാ? അതോ അത് ചെമ്മീനായിരിക്കും. അയ്യേ, ചെമ്മീനൊന്നുമല്ല, ചിലതരം സ്രാവുകളാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. അയ്യോ, അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് തെറ്റിയല്ലേ? അതെ അച്ഛാ, ചെമ്മീനല്ല, അച്ഛൻ ചമ്മീന.
Well, the question is, whether this is gonna be a good thing, and that's what we're here to find out. So it's the weather, and as you can tell, I'm red shirt weatherman, and my entire existence is dependent on people enjoying weather updates. So I'm gonna try and give you a really comprehensive update about the weather in our geographic situation. So starting on the western side, you can see that there's a cold front moving in, and obviously what this means is that everyone's kind of being icy towards each other. They don't want to communicate with one another. That's leading to a lot of governmental situations. The government's not able to handle the situation because there's this entire cold front. You can see this. I mean, it's clear. It's a clear and present danger. Well, and as this cold front moves northward, it takes with it these microscopic particles of sand. And what these microscopic particles of sand do is that they convey a kind of psychic energy through the air. Obviously, this is the weather, so it conveys it through the air, and it goes all the way around like that, all the way around. It goes all the way around, and it's just over here. It all coalesces into this kind of really ritualistic sentiment amongst the population of this part of the world. And as you can see, that's eventually going to start moving back down because that's how gravity works. Things move from up and then they go down. And as they move down, it's going to land more things on top. As they layer in, it's gonna cause pressure because the bottom one, it's feeling it. You can see that. You can see through this digital illustration. It feels real. It tastes real, but it's not. And as this grows, it's gonna lead to high pressure here. So everyone over here is gonna feel like, oh my god, what's going on with my life, and so on. I mean, these are things we all think about. These are things. It's fine. It's healthy. If you want to talk to me about it, my phone number is right on the bottom of the screen. Call me anytime. I'm awake all the time. I'm on the Ubermensch cycle. I only sleep for 16 minutes a day. But that's fine, and it's normal, and it's healthy, you know. Anyway, all of this weather is then eventually going to collapse on itself into a dense black hole. And then this black hole will absorb all the weather. And when you absorb all the weather, all questions of uncertainty disappear, right? Like there's no uncertainty, there's no whether something, it's gonna happen. It's for sure. And that's the weather.
आज आपके सामने हम कुछ तथ्य रखने की कोशिश करना चाहते हैं, पर उससे पहले आप जरा सोचिए, कितनी बार आपने सड़क में भिखारियों को और गरीबों को सोते हुए देखा है? क्या जरूरत है इन लोगों को ऐसे जीने की? आपने जरूर देखा होगा न्यूज में कि कर्ज की वजह से देश के किसान आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं। आए दिन हमें मजदूरों की स्ट्राइक की खबर सुनाई देती है। क्या आपने कभी सोचा कि आखिर ये चीजें क्यों होती हैं? अगर नहीं तो हमारे वीडियो को पूरा देखिए। आज जब हमारा मध्यम वर्ग नेटफ्लिक्स में फिल्म देखकर रोज नए पकवान बनाकर लॉकडाउन को बोरिंग बोल रहा है, तब मजदूर वर्ग काम न मिलने और घर से दूर होने की वजह से जूझ रहा है। क्या ये दो अलग देशों में रह रहे लोग हैं? नहीं। तो फिर इनके बीच इतना फर्क क्यों? ऑक्सफैम के हिसाब से 2019-2020 में 10% लोग देश का 77% धन अपने पास रखते हैं। हमारे खुद के सर्वे के हिसाब से 2011-2012 में 4.9% किसानों के पास देश के 32% खेत है और लगभग 10 करोड़ देहाती घरानों के पास खेती करने के लिए जमीन नहीं है। बंगाल को छोड़कर भारत के और किसी राज्य में लैंड रिफॉर्म ऊंचे स्तर पर नहीं हुए हैं और आज स्थिति हमारे सामने है। इस बात पर अगर हम विचार करें तो हमें ये भी पता चल जाएगा कि भारत में अमीर और गरीब के बीच इतना फर्क क्यों है। अगर हम इतिहास को देखते हैं तो इतिहास में हमेशा से अमीर और गरीब के बीच एक द्वंद्वात्मक या डायलेक्टिकल फर्क रहा है। राजा रंक, मालिक गुलाम, जमींदार किसान और पूंजीपति मजदूर। इन आर्थिक अंतर्विरोधों के साथ हमारे देश और दुनिया में भी अंतर्विरोध रहे हैं, जैसे कि जाति और लिंग। अगर हम 2018 में छपे वेल्थ इनइक्वालिटी, क्लास एंड कास्ट इन इंडिया 1961 टू 2012 नाम के एक एकेडमिक पेपर के डेटा को देखें तो हमें पता चलता है कि 10% अपर कास्ट घरानों के पास देश का 60% धन है। उत्सा पटनायक लिखती हैं कि 79% एससी और 82.5% एसटी घराने हमेशा देश की मिनिमम डेली कैलोरी इंटेक रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं पूरी कर पाते, जो शहरों के लिए 2100 और गांवों के लिए 2400 है। ये डेटा उन लोगों के मुंह पर एक चोट की तरह लगता है जो कहते हैं कि आज जाति के नाम पर कोई भेदभाव नहीं होता। अगर हम आजादी से आज तक का डेटा देखें तो हमें पता चलता है कि समस्या घटने की जगह बढ़ रही है। आज के अमीर घराने जो हमारे देश के 10% में आते हैं, अंग्रेजों के समय में भी 10% का हिस्सा थे। इस 10% का हिस्सा 1950 से 1990 तक 30 से 40% तक रहता है और अचानक 1990 के बाद हम देखते हैं कि 10% का नेशनल इनकम में शेयर बढ़ना शुरू होता है और बढ़ता ही जाता है। मिडिल इनकम ग्रुप यानी बीच के 40% के साथ जायज रूप से इसका उल्टा होता है और उनका नेशनल इनकम का शेयर गिर जाता है। 1950 में बॉटम से यानी नीचे से 50% के पास नेशनल इनकम का 22% हिस्सा था और समय के साथ ये घटता गया और आज ये 10% से भी नीचे है। ये डेटा हमने थॉमस पिकेटी और ल्यूकस चॉसल से लिया है। 1990 के दशक में ऐसा क्या हुआ? 1991 में प्राइवेटाइजेशन रिफॉर्म्स हुए, जिसपे हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था का उदारीकरण किया गया और सार्वजनिक क्षेत्र के कई उद्योगों का निजीकरण किया गया। ये सब इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड यानी IMF और वर्ल्ड बैंक के सपोर्ट के साथ हुआ। अगर आपको इन रिफॉर्म्स के बारे में और जानना है तो आप ब्लैक फ्लैग इंडिया के इस वीडियो को देख सकते हैं। हमारे देश में स्वास्थ्य के लिए GDP का 1.4% हिस्सा खर्च किया जाता है, जबकि विकासशील देशों में ये 10% होना चाहिए। भारत में 2/3 लोग देहात में रहते हैं और इसलिए स्वास्थ्य के साधनों का इस्तेमाल नहीं कर पाते। उनको अपनी समस्याओं के लिए बड़े शहरों में जाना पड़ता है। भारत के पास 10 लाख लोगों के लिए 18 टेस्टिंग किट्स हैं और ये भी निजी अस्पतालों के पास हैं, जहां आम आदमी के लिए इलाज कराना बहुत मुश्किल होता है। अगर स्वास्थ्य के साधन भी आम आदमी के हाथों से दूर है तो हम भला इस महामारी से कैसे निकल पाएंगे? ऐसा सोचा गया था कि 1991 की रिफॉर्म्स के बाद लाइसेंस राज के सारे पाप धुल जाएंगे और देश अब अच्छी तरह से चल सकेगा, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ नहीं। इसका डेटा हमारे सामने है। आज अमीर और गरीब के बीच का फर्क हर हदें पार कर चुका है। आज भारत में अरबपतियों की संख्या बढ़ती जा रही है, लेकिन गरीबी किसी भी हिसाब से कम होने का नाम नहीं ले रही। आप पूछेंगे कि अगर हालात इतने खराब हैं तो इन्हें ठीक कैसे किया जाए? अगर हमें इस खराब व्यवस्था से निकलना है तो हमें पूंजीवादी व्यवस्था से निकलना होगा। आज हमें जरूरत है लैंड रिफॉर्म्स और वेल्थ रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, वरना समाज एक भयंकर रूप ले सकता है। हमारे पिछले वीडियो में हमने आपको बताया कि कैसे अरबपति धन की चोरी करते हैं। इसीलिए अगर हम अरबपतियों से धन को बांटने की बात करते हैं तो वो धन हमारा ही होगा, उनका नहीं। मेहनत मजदूर करता है, लेकिन आज सबसे खराब हालत उसी की है। मजदूर समाज को बनाता है, पर समाज के ऊपर ताकत रखने वाले मजदूर की मेहनत के पैसे को चुरा लेते हैं और मजदूर द्वारा बनाए गए मुनाफों की वजह से खुद राजा की तरह रहते हैं। ये पूंजीवाद की व्यवस्था कई सदियों से चलती आ रही है, लेकिन अब समय आ गया है कि हम ऐसी व्यवस्था को हटा दें जो कुछ लोगों को तो खिला पिला कर मोटा कर देती है, लेकिन बाकियों को भूखा मार देती है।